Hello.
Yeah, what's up, baby?
Hi. I've seen your name around maybe 4chan or YouTube or something.
Oh, I'm not internet famous.
Oh, well, maybe just on my shit, cause I name search myself all the time, and I think you've been posting about me for like maybe a couple of years.
Well, I did used to watch you on Twitch back when you would speedrun Wind Waker and the like.
Yeah, yeah, those are some good times.
So I'm not gonna give you a hard time, Narcissa. I mean, I could, but I just wanted to have a nice conversation with you because a lot of people think that I might be a mean guy, and I'm not.
Oh, I
So what are you
see.
up to?
Um, well, trying to get some passionate audio conversations happening, and also playing through the newly released Octopath Traveler.
Okay. So can I ask you, what was your relationship like with your parents?
Okay, so like I was raised as an only child,
Okay.
and I had a close relationship with both of my parents, and from an early age, like my mom loved me a lot, and my dad had like a computer and also loved me a lot, and I think my dad is like a pretty good, like, I don't know, I like my dad a lot, I still do, and I don't know, it was really awesome growing up around computers at a really young age and games. And
I always felt like people who speedrun, they tend to have like a lot of arguments in their family and
oh, no,
games where there's
no.
safe
Oh,
space and they
not
could
at
go to
all.
their room and no one
No.
would bug them. So that's
No.
wrong. That's not the case with you.
That's not the case. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't like have a
Parents
bad
were
day and then plug in Ocarina of Time and play that for like 50 hours straight.
well, when I went to school, uh there was some times where I was getting bullied or just kind of feeling like um a little bit of a social outcast or something at school. But
But with the game,
home
you
was
had
awesome.
like you had mastery and control and you could
Yes, and that's
control
also
things.
that is true, and that's also something interesting about games. Whereas like with social situations, sometimes there's like kind of clicky stuff going on, or there's sort of like bullying kind of stuff going on, which is
And you
like,
can't do an out of bounds break in real life to get
or
through that stuff.
yeah, that stuff's different. The game is like, it's a world, you enter it, it doesn't judge you, and you have like control, and games were fun and they were creative because I got to play some games even way back, such as like Hubie for DOS, Jetpack for DOS, Dweep Gold for Windows. Those games, they had like level editors, so I could like create worlds. And I played ZZT, which was huge, and Megazeus, which is huge. Those two, ZZT and Megazeus. So it's not just like enter a world and like escape from bullies at school or whatnot. It's like enter a world and become a creator, and like create a world, and like it's like empowering and wonderful. And so I started to get a little older, and I would find myself coming home from school and then basically just jumping on the computer and then just being on the computer all day, and that's like kind of how things went.
And when you didn't have that kind of direct control, you kind of felt helpless, maybe. Kind of like
um
things were a little bit outside of your range of your ability to handle sometimes.
well, it's just like there's like social pressure that felt, um sometimes at school felt uncomfortable.
What, did kids ask you to smoke a cigarette in the bathroom or something?
No, I just remember at a pretty young age getting bullied. I think I had gap teeth and long hair. I still had the gap teeth back then. My hair was kind of longer, and people would kind of bully me.
Were you one of those kids that never just punched the bad guy in the face?
Once I kicked a kid in the shin.
Okay. I mean, if you could go back in time, you should have told yourself to just punch them. They would have left you right alone.
See, I don't think that's the solution to that kind of thing, really.
Well, no. I mean, all the kids, everybody in my school, we grew up in South Jersey. We're Italian. We'd pick on each other, and then you punch somebody, and everyone goes, you know what? I'm not going to pick on that kid anymore. And it wasn't like you're a big, violent, mean kid. It's just you kind of nip it in the bud.
Yeah, I think it got to a point where the bullying died down, and then I don't know, I just kind of like, I'd have like maybe one friend at school, and then I would have like a group of friends outside of school who were cool, and when I was with my friends, they would like come over, and then we would like play games and do all sorts of stuff. We used to be outside more often, but then it got more and more like indoors over time. But
okay.
But
now, do you feel like you don't have that kind of support group anymore? Like you can just have your friends over and hang out all day?
It's totally different dynamic now with live streaming and internet. It's been like digital presence has like completely.
Well, you know, Narcissa,
me.
I used to have 16-player LAN parties every weekend.
Yeah.
And then Halo 2 came out, and it's all online. And
Right.
suddenly nobody wanted to come over anymore. They just wanted to go online.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Ruin the whole dynamic.
yeah. I think kind of similar thing happened where I used to be going to tournaments for Smash all the time, and then now I'd rather just play online and not fucking go anywhere.
Well, that's kind of the problem that people like us have, getting into our older age. Half of our friends don't want to play games anymore, and the other half that do, they're fucking casuals. They can't keep up with us.
Oh, that's what the internet's for, though. You like connect with people who are actually passionate about what you care about, and then that's where you go from there.
Yeah, but they're
what
also
I've been caring
passionate about animal penises and all kinds of weird shit. The internet is a catch-22. You don't know what you're gonna get.
I mean, sure, but I don't know. I like the internet a lot. I like the people on it.
You know, my worst fear is I'm gonna find out my best friend on Discord is secretly Shadman in his off hours.
I don't know who that is.
He's a guy who draws like animals and little kids having sex with Mrs. Incredible, and they all have big black dicks. He's a fine person, I'm
Well,
sure.
I do recognize the name, I guess, because I apparently scored more points in the Mario Tennis demo than this person.
Okay.
And someone brought that up, so I don't know.
You better watch out. He's gonna draw porn of you.
I don't know. Some people are.
You're gonna have a big black
goofs.
dick, and you're gonna be raping Mrs. Incredible.
Okay.
Oh, did it just get real for a second there?
What?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to threaten you.
No, I'm just saying it's like, all right, like I don't know. What do you want me to say to that?
I don't know. Most people would be flattered, I guess. I would.
I like fan art, but like I guess if it's
Well, is there
Not
Rule
all
34 of Narcissa Wright?
I think there's some like really there's art that makes me look ugly on purpose, and it has to do with like there's like dildos featured in it, but it's not. It doesn't. I don't think it shows any nudity. Maybe. I don't know. There's.
Don't you know that to parody somebody, you have to like them in the first place? You can't really parody somebody if you don't know anything about them.
Well,
And
I
how
have
can you
some.
not know
I have
something
no. I have some
and hate
dedicated
somebody?
haters who see me as a punching bag, so they are devoted to me, but they also like want to like make me as ugly as possible and everything.
Well, you know, I'm trying to be as nice to you as possible because
You don't
I know
have
a lot
to.
of
You can
people
just
would
be like
expect me to be
straight
a
up
jerk.
with me. You can just say whatever the fuck you want, but like, yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of people, I think, pick on you just because you're so outwardly, you express your anger and your disappointment so visibly.
Yeah.
And if you could be a little more withdrawn, they just leave you alone.
But it has value to express yourself clearly. Instead of like keeping feelings pent up inside your head, instead of that, you like express them. And that's what I do that, and I'm not ashamed of that.
You know, you're reminding me, people always send me that clip of you like doing yoga on your bed, and then you have that big fucking fart, and you go, "Oh yeah." I guess that's like the physical manifestation of not keeping it pent up. It was beautiful.
A lot of people seem to like kind of like that clip or be obsessed with it for some reason.
I mean, I wish I could rip one like that.
Oh,
I would
see,
just, I'd go
okay,
out in
this reminds
public
me,
and I'd
this
destroy
actually goes
people's
right
face.
back into our other conversation, because, like, when I used to be kind of bullied or a little bit outcast at school, like, when I was in maybe 4th or 3rd grade or something, like, I remember, like, I would have to fart, and then I would intentionally, like, release the fart in such a way that it was as loud as possible, because I felt a little bit, I don't know, I felt like maybe I got bullied. I felt like an outsider or a class clown or something, so I just like ripped the fart as loud as possible. And
Are you by any chance German, Narcissa?
I don't even know my history at all.
Because you seem to take a national, like, genetically ingrained delight in gassing people, so that piqued my curiosity. But
Well, nowadays I'd rather fart as quietly as possible, but sometimes I have some gas issues though, you know, so I have to like let it out.
from all that soy.
Well, I don't know.
Soylent?
I don't know what it is. I think that perhaps Soylent doesn't have enough fiber in it. I don't really know. I don't know.
Well, it's made from beans. What do you expect? It's literally fart fuel.
I mean, I have gas right now.
You're not gonna like jump in the air and click your heels and fart on the mic, are you?
No, no.
Oh, that's a shame. I would have enjoyed that. Damn.
Yeah, I might have to go to the bathroom pretty soon though. Well, I don't know.
You know, that's that. I would file that under TMI, but okay. Sure. Why
Well,
not?
I mean, you want to talk about farting and stuff, so here you are. We can talk about something else if you'd like.
Okay. What do you think of the current crop of speedrunners? These new up and comers who kind of they've taken the games that you love so much and they've kind of turned them up just a little bit further, like Ocarina of Time, that skater kid who steals his mom's cool cigarettes and he doesn't comb his hair. He's got like 5 seconds more better than you had. Wind Waker's got Linkus and that other guy who needs a haircut, who have cut an hour and a half off of it. What do you think of those guys?
Well, to correct you a bit, the Ocarina of Time run is actually now over a minute faster than the IQ run that I did, but now on Virtual Console. But now there's crazy new shit that's happening, and there's a whole new chapter of Ocarina of Time any percent being written as we speak right now, and there's strat development in progress right now. So look
Yeah, I
out
saw
for
that. They found a new out of bounds or something for that last minute.
Yes, and that's gonna
Beginning of the-
actually change the whole route probably, but I don't know. You have to wait and see. I think it will though, but I don't know. I don't feel like necessarily gossiping about these people or whatnot. I don't know. At SGDQ 14, I smoked a lot of weed with Skater. It was really fun.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to like gossip like, teenage girls. I meant like, do you ever feel that you put in all this work and then these guys put in just a little extra thing on top and they get the glory?
There has been some sort of jealous feelings after my viewership tanked and I saw some other people getting lots of viewership and I felt like it was unfair, and then
That's understandable.
yeah, it's a kind of a bad thing to be jealous.
Well, no, I've always thought that speedrunning, I like to watch the end result, but I always feel bad for the runners because you taken all that time to figure something out and then somebody else does one extra thing and everything you've done is erased and you don't matter anymore.
Well, it's always like your shit always gets out of date unless it's like truly fully optimized or whatever. So
Hey, can I ask your opinion on Stivity Bobo real quick? I know you don't want to gossip, but I really don't like that guy.
you don't like him?
No, I read something about some Mormon couple came into an SGDQ, and they got this underage girl drunk
Yeah, I
and
guess
separated
Stiv-
from
I guess
her from
Stiv
her husband
had
and
sex.
kind of gang raped her,
No, I don't
and
think
he's
so.
still allowed in.
Well, I don't know what happened exactly, but I think it was like this is gossiping about this shit again. Like literally
Okay, we
4
don't have
fucking
to
years
talk about it
later.
if you don't
It
wanna.
never fucking ends. It's insane.
Well, I think it's the shape of his head that bothers me. The guy's got a polygonal head, and I just can't get past that fact. But we don't have to talk about him if you don't want to. That's fine.
What do you want to talk about then?
I don't know how things going, man. Or I'm sorry. How are things going, young woman? Are you getting out of the house often?
Uh, Probably less than some people.
I know people haven't given you a hard time about getting a job. Do you feel like you could maybe work from home?
I work hard every day.
Well, yeah, I mean, so do I for my YouTube stuff, but I don't get paid for it. That's
Yeah,
why I have two jobs.
but now I'm doing political campaigning.
Okay, well, who are you campaigning for? And please don't say Brianna Wu.
Andrew Yang,
Okay, what is he like running for Congress or something? I've never heard of him.
he's running for U.S. President, Democrat, 2020, and he wants to give everyone between the age of 18 and 64 $1,000 per month.
Okay, so he's going to give 70% of the population $1,000 per month. And keeping in mind, people under the age of 18 don't really pay taxes. So he's pretty much, he's going to give everybody $1,000, but everyone's also going to pay for it. That's a little interesting.
The kind of richer corporations are going to end up paying the bulk of it.
But then wouldn't they just move to like off coast and then not have to pay for it?
I don't think that's necessarily true because I think that this economy ends up getting stimulated by the result of having more individuals with more stability. And I think it's also potentially just simply the next phase of capitalism, so it's probably just like the next direction we're headed towards.
So do you feel like you could personally, you could live off of $12,000 a year and be comfortable?
Well, that would not be all my income because I'd still be doing stuff online all the time. But the extra 1,000 would help a lot because then instead of like slowly dwindling, I would just be stable and and there wouldn't be any more stress about money. So it'd be awesome.
But then wouldn't, if you got into a better financial position where you wouldn't need that, wouldn't you then become one of the people who pays extra to kind of supplicate everybody's funds or supplement?
Only like a little, like a tiny bit, you know? Like it's like keep in mind that some of these like giant tech companies are siphoning profits with high efficiency and they're like optimizing for capitalism. And so like if I become more successful, like maybe like, you know, maybe I'm paying some more taxes or whatnot, but it's like I'm not you know, it'll be fine.
I just feel like if I ask somebody if they feel like they could make more than 12 grand a year and they say I don't know, that's kind of depressing. You should really believe in yourself.
I would want to have more than $12,000 per year, maybe closer to $30,000 per year.
Now you could do better than that, Narcissa. You should believe in yourself
maybe
more.
maybe, but
30,000
like
is like starting.
but keep in mind, it's like it's not all just about making money. Like you're trying to like do other things with life.
Well, yeah, but you need money to do other things, like buy a house and a car and own it.
Okay, but
and
there's no
go to school.
listen though, like there's no reason to own a car though. Not for me. There's no reason to. And buying a house, like I'm not convinced that's a good idea.
Well, you live in California, right? Where everybody kind of owns a little condo or rents a little tiny armpit of
Well, I rent a place.
Well, I mean, I rent too, but I'm saving up to buy a piece of land somewhere.
Well, you can do that.
And you don't worry that your landlord could one day just decide they don't like you and kick you out, and good luck finding a place for as cheap as
What
what you already have.
justification would they have to kick me out?
I don't know. All your fucking soylent farts stinking up the place. Neighbors banging on the walls, saying, "Please, eat some salad. Stop farting, killing us."
You're going back to the gas discussion. Is that what we're talking about now?
Well, it's a very general comedy standby to do a callback, Narcissa.
Okay.
I mean, later on I might reference Shadman again. That's not because I want to talk about him.
Okay, well, let me just say then, if there was some, like, weird shit and I wanted to move, I could just move to a different fucking place and rent it in a different place. All I really need is a single room along with, like, a bathroom. That's maybe a closet.
So you want to live like Raskolnikov from Crime and Punishment, where you open the door and there's your couch that you sleep on, and you have a hard time closing it behind you. That just makes me sad thinking about that. I couldn't live
It doesn't
like
need
that.
to be hyper compressed, but, like, I don't need that much space.
Well, do you have, like, because when you move to an apartment, some of them want 3 months rent in advance. They want a damage deposit, and you got to pay money to move your stuff and rent a truck.
Yeah, it's
you have all
moving's
that?
a fucking pain in the ass. I do not have the funds to move, not really.
Okay, well then you should be worried.
Well, yeah, so Andrew Yang 2020.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
That means I'll get $1,000 a month additionally, and then...
Oh yeah, okay. When
Yeah.
you said like Andrew Yank, like yank, I took as like being a verb.
Yang.
And then yang. I could have sworn you said yank.
Sorry.
And the 2020 is like hindsight 2020. I thought you were doing some kind of
Oh,
proverb.
no.
I've never heard it.
No.
Like YOLO 2020. Like what? Who? Do you think America's ready to elect an Asian guy to be president?
Don't let racism win. That shouldn't be a non-issue.
Oh no, I'm not saying because of race, just because we haven't done it.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, is he like second generation? Is his English good?
He speaks very well.
Okay. Well, I mean, some of my best friends are people who come here from Africa and from Europe, and their English is terrible. And they could never run just because, as good as people as they are, nobody wants to vote for a guy they can't understand.
Andrew Yang speaks very well.
Okay. Is he like a typical kind of shorter Asian guy, or is he a big Americanized, drank milk his whole life, big Asian guy?
I don't know how big he is. I don't know.
Oh, no one's going to vote for a shorty. You remember Dennis Kucinich? He was a great presidential candidate. Guy was 5'3".
These are like such silly, like, reasons to vote for somebody.
Well, you don't
too
think
short.
Trump getting in had part to do with him being a big, tall guy?
I think it had to do with some crazy meme shit.
Well, I mean, like, people like you and I, we're intelligent. We judge people based on the content of their character. But big fat Bessie at Walmart with her 27 kids, she goes, I'm going to vote for that guy because he's big and strong and I like him.
Why isn't Bessie want to vote for the person who would give her $1,000 a month?
Because Bessie has a job. She doesn't need it. She'd be the one paying the $1,000 for everybody else.
No. She would absolutely have more income.
You know, I used to be very...
She can keep her job and then still get the 1,000.
Well, you know, I used to think a lot like you and want to have these free things, but then I started working, and I realized I'm giving like $400 every paycheck to other people's stuff, and I never got to collect on it. I've never collected unemployment. I'd love to get free money.
You'd love to get free money? Then vote Yang.
Well, it wouldn't be free for me. I'd be the one paying it.
You wouldn't be
I
paying...
work 60 hours a week.
Listen, you wouldn't be paying a ton. You're not making, like, you know, fucking millions of dollars, billions of dollars. That's where the money's coming from. Right? Are you a millionaire?
Does Yang have an Asian wife?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could vote for him, but I wouldn't trust an Asian first lady.
Why?
I think the phrase...
I thought you said you're intelligent, you judge people by the content of their character, not by their race.
No. It's because I've dated some Asian women, okay?
Okay, so you're stereotyping.
No. I've dated some, and at one point I got very close to this girl, and I told her I loved her, and I wanted to marry her, and she tried to pause my neg hole with an egg roll. And I said, hold on, honey, back up a second. I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. And she couldn't take it. Karate chopped me right in the dick. They see, it's just, that's called a joke. You shouldn't take it so seriously now that puts on your face. Oh no, we were having a nice conversation and I killed it with an Asian joke. I'm sorry. Is it too late to say that their pussies aren't sideways, they're just Tokyo drifting? Does that fix things? Really? No. You're gonna be a stickler on this.
It's just
So
like
we can joke
you're
about.
just like unfunny, you know.
Oh, you're just preposterous.
No, I'm too intelligent to like laugh at that.
Oh, you've ascended to a higher realm of existence where my humor is but ants crawling around your feet. I understand. Do you feel like the Buddha who has ascended his earthly coil, and you are but a physical manifestation of God's all-knowing, all-loving existence?
I don't claim to be all-knowing or all-loving, but I guess I'm a spiritual person.
Okay. Have you read, the Old Testament, the Tao Te Ching, stuff like that?
I was raised in a Catholic school. I had like religion class and had to go to church all the time, but
Oh, jeez.
I don't consider myself Christian.
All right. I mean, I'm not religious at all, but I've read most of the holy books.
Yeah,
I just
I
like
have
to
not.
see where
It
they
sounds
cross
like
over.
it sounds like you've actually read more holy books than I have because yeah, it's really just a bit of the Bible. So, but I think the spirituality is kind of detached from religion, so it's not like I don't know. Maybe there's something I could glean from reading some of that, but I kind of don't have a strong desire to.
Well, I would tell you where it would benefit you personally is that not because you need to find God or anything, but all religion is basically applied mythology. And when you look at where the mythology crosses over, you'll see all the things that kind of make a man or an individual kind of part of their community. That's what religion is. It's basically telling people, here's what you have to do to become a member of our society, and here's the values we uphold. That's our shared mythology. And I don't want to pick on you, but it seems to me like you're rather detached from your surroundings. You're very isolated.
I'm connected to the online.
Yeah, but the online isn't always a good thing to be connected to.
Not always, but it doesn't mean it's bad.
I mean, I could tell my parents, oh, I have a great group of friends, and they go, who are your friends? And I go, oh, the kid over there with the greaser haircut and the switchblade. And they would, when I was a kid, they'd nip that in the bud. I couldn't hang out with the Puerto Rican kid who carries a knife. They wouldn't let me do it. And they were right. That kid stabbed somebody.
I see.
I mean, for all you know, your internet friends aren't keeping your best interests at heart. I mean, I have some internet buddies,
Well,
but
honestly, like
I don't give them.
I'm
Go ahead.
I'm like kind of connected with like a bunch of people loosely. Some people stronger than others, but like it's often not one-to-one relationships. So
Exactly.
it's often a connection with like a mass.
I mean, do you ever feel like sometimes you interact with these people and they get more out of it than you do? And maybe part of why they're contacting you isn't to become friends with you, but to get something for themselves.
I mean, kind of. You can argue that a lot of people are self-interested, first and foremost.
Do you feel, let's go off on a tangent. Do you feel like the Games Done Quick community has kind of failed in reaching out to you? Because I noticed they haven't mentioned you or brought you on or even, asked you to commentate. You could have commentated on a live stream over the internet on some of those runs.
Yeah, I mean, like, these different, like, speedrunning groups and stuff, yeah, I don't know. People do not reach out. I think that...
Do you feel like it's like when you're in high school and it was kind of cliquey and you couldn't penetrate those cliquey groups?
I mean, if I still wanted to go or whatnot, then I could still do thing, but, like, I kind of became detached from all of that, so I'm on my own, basically. We do
So
have
it's
the
more
Breath
of
of the
a
Wild
self-imposed
thing.
pilgrimage and isolation you've kind of internalized because you don't feel welcome, but that might not be the case. You might be more welcome than you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, with GDQ specifically, like, I was never banned or anything, and, like, I don't know how they feel about me or whatnot. I really don't know how they feel, and I just haven't had desire to go, so I just don't.
Okay, that's fair enough. Do you still watch?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I figured you would just because you don't have a job. I mean, I always get stuck doing a triple shift when that shit's on. I
No,
miss the whole thing.
I feel kind of distant from it, so.
Does it kind of, do you feel liberated to not have to be part of that community and actively grind out all that shit every day, and then somebody else comes along and uses your strats and everything you did is just poof, gone?
What I had done was impactful, and that has not changed. Even if, like, whatnot old records are not relevant anymore.
Well, I will say to your benefit, more people know who you are than, like, let's say a Siglemic who was so vital for Mario 64 speedrunning, and then people found pictures of him in diapers, and then he, poof, he went away, and then they've kind of forgotten that he existed. He's been eclipsed.
Those pictures were not of Siglemic.
Oh, okay. I don't really know much about it, so except that maybe just a lookalike. But he has poof gone back into the aether, and now we got that cheese guy, Simple Flips, Benny, who is just awful. I watch him sometimes, and he's terrible. But I love the guy.
Yeah, there's still a lot of speedrunners, a lot of speedrunning organizations, and different people doing different things, different events and whatnot. That's all happening.
What do you think of the European Speedster Assembly?
I don't watch that either.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of like them because they reminded me of back when GDQ was in some guy's basement and nobody knew what they were doing.
I think that just like the personal streams of the personal speedrun streams, not so much the marathons, were like what really felt like more meaningful to me. Like there were a few moments, such as my 2013 Ocarina of Time any percent run, where I kind of came alive in front of the camera there, and that was kind of impactful and good. But I think that as time has went on, the individual speedrunning streams have, many of them have kind of faded off, and that while there are still some streams that are popular or get views or whatnot, that the individual streams have somewhat died off since the sort of decline of SRL, and I think that those are the things that I kind of cared about more, and which I have the fondest memories of, not so much the events. So I think a lot of people nowadays, like, the loudest thing in speedrunning is the events, so that's what they focus on, and that's like how they think it all kind of that's what they think everyone's priorities are, but that's not the way it is for me.
Well, you know, while I have you, I always wondered about this. Did you ever kind of get a little pissed because you would stream yourself playing Ocarina of Time for like 3 years and maybe get like $5 worth of bits or donations or whatever, and then you go to this fucking ADGQ or whatever, and then they're like, oh, I love Narcissa, here's 10 grand for the fund. You ever think, like, why not give me part of that during the rest of the year, you fuckers? Jesus Christ.
Well,
maybe I'm projecting.
It used to be the case where, like, the personal streams would raise a lot of money for the person streaming. So at the most money I made in 1 year was 2013, when I made $80,000. But then I had to pay $25,000 in taxes and $25,000 in student loans or whatnot. So that cut into it.
Now we're getting back to your buddy Mr. Yang.
Yes,
who actually pays for that $1,000 a month for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, the rich do.
So I'm wondering, I see you're playing Octopath Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
I know YouTube has super chats. I'm not going to ask you about your bottom line. But do you feel like YouTube is a better place for you to make money, or was Twitch really ideal?
It seems that Twitch was better, but I don't have my Twitch account anymore, and I'm just gonna stick on YouTube for now because they kept suspending me and it was irritating, and I had some like frustration with some of the staff and everything. So,
well, I don't want to throw dirty laundry up, but I did read that you were airing some saucy images of young people of intermediate genders in various states of undress.
I put some pornographic images on the screen and got banned. It was kind of an act of self-harm, really, but it was also just venting a little frustration.
Well, I will say, if my choice is looking at a dude in a thong with his wiener hanging out or Spike Vegeta's face, I think you had the lesser of two evils for a second there, so I commend you, Narcissa. Thank you. I really just don't like that guy's head. When I was a kid, I had this mug with like a tiger's face on it, and it looks just like him. Every time I see him, I want to eat Fruity Pebbles out of his skull. But that's just me. Oh no, I offended you again.
No, it's just...
Oh jeez, I gotta stop that.
There's no response. I need to get water. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey everybody, it's just me on her now. Narcissa can't do a fucking thing. He's getting some water or something. Hey, you shouldn't put on dresses. You should be a man. God made you in his image. Okay, we're back.
Hello.
Damn, that was quick. What, you got a mini fridge or something? What the fuck?
Yes, I do. But I just got water. I poured a just from the sink water.
Oh, that's not good for you. You're gonna get zinc poisoning or something.
I don't care.
Isn't the water in California, like they take your toilet water and they put a chemical in it and it goes right back to your sink?
Don't worry about it.
Hold on a second, I got a mouthful of oatmeal. I thought you were gonna take longer. Okay, I'm done.
So, what else did you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know shit, son. I mean, what's next for Narcissa Wright? What's the next big move?
I think talking to people on voice and playing games.
So I know you call it blood sports. Do you know the guys involved with it, like Tonka or Mr. Metacore or?
I mean, I've heard that name.
Okay,
I've
well, those
seen-
are the
I've
guys
seen
you
a
need to get
couple
into
videos.
contact with.
That guy seems like unpleasant though.
Well, yeah, that's why it's called blood sports. If you just want to have a panel discussion, I wouldn't call it blood sports, because that's where you attract very mean people.
Well, I don't mind invigorating conversation, but if it's just gonna be like, yeah, I don't know. Like,
Well, okay,
if you want to fucking get all fucking in my face or whatnot, that's fine. I don't care.
Well, look, we've had 38 minutes of pleasant conversation. If you want, we can turn it up a bit.
All
I'm
right.
not going to get personal, but we can discuss hard issues if you'd like.
Sure.
All right, so, 1, are traps gay? Your response.
So,
It's just a flat no.
what I said. So.
Well, no, my question to you was, are traps gay? Would you consider yourself,
This is like a language.
1, a trap, and 2, would you consider yourself a homosexual? Or do you find that you are a woman and that you're attracted to women, but that would still technically make you a homosexual, wouldn't it?
So some of these like categories are kind of blurry. So I don't consider myself a trap, I think.
You consider yourself a woman.
I consider myself trans feminine.
Okay. Now, I saw a couple of days ago you wrote that there's nothing wrong with being trans. Was that something you wrote on Twitter? Was that you?
Yeah.
But would you say it's preferable to be feminine trans or a biological woman? Which would you prefer?
I just have my reality like right now.
Ooh, you really should be in politics with an answer like that. Your last name isn't Strazik, is it?
That's right.
Okay. Well, do you think that a young man who would look at someone like yourself and go, I'd like a piece of that, would that man be a homosexual, in your opinion?
No.
Even though you literally have, the equipment of the guy who's looking at you.
It's a feminine penis, though.
Now, would you say that the fantasy that guy would have of you would be not gay, but maybe the actuality of, because no offense, but a man's butthole has poop in it. That's kind of gay. It's kind of a foul smell. It's not feminine and soft. I personally, I would say the guy with the fantasy, he's not gay, but the guy who does it, that's pretty gay.
This is more a question about anal sex.
you put it like that, you take all the fun out of it. Good
Well-
Lord. What are you, a doctor?
What do you mean, take the fun out of it?
Well, we're talking. I'm kind of going around that because I don't really want to have a conversation with you about anal sex. But I mean, if you want, you can. Do you spit on the head first, or do you just go right and dry? I wouldn't know.
I have attempted to penetrate anally before, but I don't know, I kind of found it like logistically challenging and somewhat uncomfortable, so I'm not like hugely into anal sex. However, yeah, so however, I've played with like butt plugs and dildos before, and it feels good. And
No, I did notice in the background your doorknob is a little brown looking. Is that just the pixelation of the webcam, or am I reading too much into
I
this?
think you're definitely reading too much into that.
Okay, fair enough. Don't you worry that you're gonna like lose your elasticity and you're not gonna be able to hold it in? I mean, that might be where your farting problem comes from, Narcissa. You might have busted that O-ring. You don't know.
No, my problem has to do with trapped gas and stool based on digestion, IBS, whatnot. It doesn't have to
Oh,
do
they
with-
must be knocking down your door to get to you with saucy talk like that. Is there a Mr. Narcissa Wright in the future? Are you courting somebody?
I am single and not looking.
You're not on a love quest?
I like to be held, I like to cuddle. I like oral sex.
Would you like to have like a family unit, like a partner and children?
I think I'm actually pretty good with kids, but I don't foresee myself like raising a kid.
I mean, because you could physically, let's not misgender you, but you could father one. Would you ever consider going to an intermediary like a midwife?
Wait,
Kind
so
of like what
are you
Michael
saying,
Jackson
are you
did.
saying like because I still have testicles, use my sperm to bring life into
inseminate
the
a woman?
world? I guess it's still possible to do that.
You just take the romance right out of it. Yes, it is physically possible. I could take my testes and ejaculate my semen into a test tube, and then a woman could put an ovary in it. You just take the mystery right out of life, pal.
No, there's a lot
What
of
are you doing?
there's a lot of mystery in life still.
Do you feel like you could become kind of an icon of like a success story? Because you were Cosmo and you were this big deal, and then
That was a success
Narcissa.
story already.
Oh, no offense, but becoming Narcissa really did hurt your name brand. That'd just be like if I changed my name from EmptyHero to Mike, and then people would go, well, who the fuck's Mike? I wouldn't show up in search results. But do you feel like you can go back up that hill and kind of be even better than before?
Yes, I think of life kind of like it's like 7th grade or some shit, and it's just kind of like,
Really?
or maybe earlier. Yeah, it's still early as fuck, and like I think just because I've been bullied online a lot doesn't mean that there's not some awesome future.
Man, I'm sorry, Narcissa. I gotta tell you, I haven't thought of high school or anything before that in like 10 or 15 years. When people tell me they're still thinking about middle school, I just think, wow, that's sad.
Well,
Don't you have like
it's-
current things going on?
Well, it's an analogy that there's like childish bullying happening, and there's still like a lot further to go with life, and that life is still young. So it's actually an optimistic outlook.
Yeah, but even to call something bullying, like, I had a bunch of your people from your Discord come into my Discord yesterday, and they were posting just like random stock images off Google, and I didn't feel bullied. I was just like, okay, whatever. I got a sense of humor about this.
Well, there's some more malicious or like kind of mean things though, like directed at me. It's not also
You
light.
feel like people are trying to demean you personally.
Some people are.
Well, like how are they doing that? If you don't mind me asking.
Obsessively posting on Kiwi Farms, posting on the Salmon Tolkien subreddit, etc.
Oh, that's the couple we brought up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to do with that?
Well, they post about me, and they make fun of me and try to drag me.
Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of a compliment when somebody obsesses over you to that point.
It's like a very sad thing. It's like someone spends their free time obsessively hating someone. That's sad, don't you think?
Yeah, but at the same time, you really can't obsessively hate somebody like that without, like, secretly loving them. I mean, that's why Mark David Chapman shot John Lennon. Because he loved the guy so much.
Yeah, but that sucks. That sucks.
Well, that's part of being a public figure. You don't think I get death threats?
Well, it sucks. That sucks for John Lennon.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. He's worm food.
Yeah,
okay?
but his life was just suddenly abruptly ended by some fucking deranged obsessive.
Okay, but on the bright side, he never had to hear Yoko Ono sing again. So I would say he won out in the end.
I would disagree.
Actually, most people don't know this, but the reason John got shot is because he saw that Chapman was looking sad, and he said, Yoko, sing a song for the guy. And Mark was just so angry. Boom. That's what you get. Oh, you just have no sense of humor about these things. Jesus. Well, what makes Narcissa Wright laugh? What's a good Narcissa joke? We can't make fun of Asians. We can't.
Okay, listen. Like, what's the function of humor?
Well, the function of humor to me is to state what people are thinking and to crystallize it in a form that most of them go, why didn't I think of that?
Okay.
And it always catches them off guard.
Yeah, well, when you talk about, like, Asian slanted vagina or whatever the fuck you're saying, like...
Have you seen one of them? I have. They're slightly akimbo. They're wonderful.
I'm just saying that's not the kind of thing that's gonna make me laugh.
Did you know that the hair on an Asian woman's pubes are straighter than on a black woman's head? I always tell black girls that I date, if I could shave my ex's pubes and put them on your head, you'd go from a 7 to an 8. And they love it. Now, see, once again, Narcissa, that's not literal thing, but everybody thinks it, and we're crystallizing it in a form that makes people go, oh, that's quite interesting.
Okay.
Do you feel like maybe I'm punching down? Is that what I'm doing?
Look, I do laugh sometimes. Sometimes I think things are funny, but I just don't think this stuff is funny.
What if I was insulting, let's say, a white woman? Would that be better?
You just like
Well,
you're focusing on a race. Like, why?
Let's say an evil white man like Donald Blumph. Would you like some Blumph jokes? Because frankly, I like Donald. He's a nice guy.
I think, I hope he doesn't get reelected.
Honestly, I'd rather have Trey Gowdy than Donald Trump, but I like Trump. You know, when I was a kid, Donald Trump bought my family a pool. I guess you wouldn't know that. My father worked for the company that installed a security system in Donald Trump's house that he had in Jersey, and he would not pay for his bill. He owed them like a couple $100,000. And my dad called him up, and Donald Trump picks up the phone and goes, this is John Calamari. What can I do for you? And my dad said, I know it's you, Donald. You owe us this money. If you don't pay it, I'm going to get the biggest, blackest guys that work for us to come to your house, rip out all the security stuff, and we're also going to take the locks off the doors and the windows. And the next day, Donald paid, and my dad got a big bonus, and we got a pool. So I love Trump.
I see.
Whenever I think of him, I think of swimming in my old in-ground pool as a kid.
I like swimming.
Now, do you get out and swim, Narcissa?
I haven't swam since 2015.
Isn't that kind of sad? You live near the ocean, don't you?
I live in the United States.
Okay, well, you're in California. You're near the nicest beaches
I could swim
in the country.
I could swim, but yeah, I would just have to buy a bathing suit and then go. But I just haven't.
Do you feel maybe it's a body image issue, like you wouldn't feel comfortable in a one piece or a two piece at the pool?
I think I would want a one-piece thing, and I think stuff like that, stuff I'd be comfortable in definitely exists. I would just have to buy it, but also I would probably rather swim on like a special occasion when there's like not that many people around, kind of have the pool to ourselves, and we're just kind of swimming around. I would prefer that.
Well, I'm sure in California they'd be more accepting of, let's say, your body type.
Yeah, but I don't know. I haven't made any effort to go swimming. I don't know.
I mean, I went swimming yesterday. I got a condo. I can go swimming anytime I want. Just the thought of somebody telling me they love swimming but they haven't done it in over 3 years.
Yeah,
That just tells me you need to get out more.
Yeah, it's something.
And I'll tell you, nobody cares what you look like. Nobody's looking at you when you go out. I know when we were all in high school, we used to think that everyone's looking at my pimple. Oh my God, my life is over. Nobody notices what you look like. They're all busy and they're looking at their own phone. Or
I
they're
mean,
thinking
I
everyone's
usually
looking
have
at
a
them.
pretty good self-image. I'm not too concerned about what people think when they see me, so I feel pretty okay. And like, I don't know.
Well, would you feel comfortable if I challenged you right now that when we're done talking, you're gonna buy a bathing suit and go for a swim sometime this week or next week? Would you feel comfortable with making that commitment? Because if you're not comfortable with that, then I gotta call shenanigans.
It's just a matter of like effort, and I don't feel like putting in the effort. Also, I'd have to spend the money on the suit, wait for it to get here, hopefully it fits and everything, and then, you know, it's just like kind of annoying. Someday, maybe. I would like to swim again someday.
That is the saddest sounding thing. That's like an old lady in a wheelchair who's like, I would love to dance the ballet again, but I never will.
Look, I mean, you make a point. You make a point.
All right, well, Narcissa, I gotta go because I gotta get to work.
All right,
thanks for talking to me.
Thank you for talking to me.
Just for future reference, if you want to call it blood sports, you were very lucky that I'm a nice guy, because most blood sports people are complete jerks, and that's what they do.
Well, I'll talk to anyone.
You might want to call it just a discussion panel, okay? Hoodaloo.
We'll see. All right, bye.